right, great. Thank you, Brian.
This
All right, good
conference will
evening,
now
ladies
be
and gentlemen.
recorded.
Thank you, everybody, for the August 4th, 7:15 meeting of the Zoning Board of Appeals in Norwood. Again, I'd like to apologize publicly, Mr. Griffin, for making you wait a little over 15 minutes. We're still getting used to the technology of the Zoom meetings and so forth, but we're getting there. Anyways, forgive us. So, this case is, notice is hereby given to the Board of Appeals down in Norwood to hold a public hearing on August 4th at 7:15 p.m. The request of Thomas and Sarah Griffin regarding case number 20-09 with respect to property located at 35 Hickory Road in a single residence district. The meeting will be conducted digitally using the GoToMeeting. The public partition may be accessed through the computer, tablet, smartphone, et cetera. You can also use the dial-in phone with that number. So, this application request, Pat, can you still hear me, Pat?
I got you. Got you.
Okay.
Yep.
Be careful. Whatever. I think I got a little bit of noise in the background. That's the only thing to be careful.
Oh, I'm sorry.
All right. This application requests a special permit under section 5.4.4 and 5.4.2 of the zoning bylaw to allow the construction of a second floor addition, increasing habitable space by more than 25% on a lot with 70 feet of frontage, on a lot with, I think that's supposed to say with 70 feet of frontage where 90 feet is required. Side yard of 10.09 on the left side of the house where 15 is required. Other side yard of 7.27 feet on the right side of the house where 15 is required, together with any and all relief the board deemed necessary. Height of the new house will be 30 feet. Second floor of addition will go over existing first floor structure and can't, forgive me on this, cantilever out rear 2 feet. Cantilever, sorry about that, I'm unfamiliar with that word. Anyways, this application also requests a variance under the general laws of the Commonwealth to allow construction of a second floor addition, increasing habitable space by more than 25% on a lot of which 70 is required, 90 is, I'm sorry, with 70 feet of frontage where 90 is required. Same dimensions, height of the new house same, second floor addition will say, all right, all the same, but it requests a variance also if necessary. So why don't we discuss, well, first of all, I'm sure we have all the affidavits and so forth. I see it here and the publications look good. So I think we're good on that. Why don't we discuss the special permit first, Mrs. Griffin? If you want to take the floor and tell us anything more that you want to update us on, and we'll go with the special permit first, close that off, and then decide if the variance is necessary, please.
Sure, thank you. I just want to start off by saying I apologize. My husband was supposed to be part of the meeting, but due to the crazy weather today, he's a lineman for the Norwood Light Department, and they had a lot of outages all on Nickel Street, but he otherwise would have been here for the meeting. So I just wanted to start by apologizing on his behalf. And I wanted to thank the board for meeting with us, even if it's virtually. I appreciate that. So just kind of a little background on what we're requesting is we have been in the neighborhood for over 10 years, and we love our neighborhood. And in the last 10 years, we've had 3 children, and we were basically busting at the seams of our house. So we're hoping to basically take our current residence and just add on top of that. The cantilever, just a fancy word from what I understand, as a bump out, the 2 feet in the back. And we are working with a contractor who is familiar with Norwood. He has done a lot of projects in Norwood, Pine Street construction. They've done construction in our neighborhood, specifically working with the same type of residents and putting that second floor on there. So I don't know if that answers your questions or gives you kind of a background of what we're hoping to grant from you guys.
Okay. All right. Appreciate that. I'm going to hold off for a minute on my question. I think I'll do the round robin first, and then I'll come back to myself if the question goes unanswered. But why don't I start with Mr. Riley if you have any questions for the applicant, please, sir.
Okay.
So you're going straight up, that's the idea?
That's correct.
And it's basically on the, existing footprint, is that correct?
That's correct.
Now, you do have a slight addition on the back that, for the mudroom, I take it. That, I take it, does not come, it doesn't look as though that comes any closer to the side yard than the, existing side yard in the house. Is that fair to be true?
That's correct. And we looked at even the slant of the roof to make sure that it wasn't going to hit that 15 feet mark as the trajectory goes up, that it wasn't going to be an
Because of
issue.
the distance to the side yard, yeah. Did you go to see the building inspector?
We
I
did. We
assume.
talked with Mr. Walsh, yes.
And would I be right in guessing that he told you that the reason you needed to come to the board was that you were increasing the habitability by more than 25%?
For the variance, are you saying, or just
Yeah.
in general? Oh, yes.
For these permits.
Yeah, he said,
I
it might,
never guessed
yeah,
what he's doing. Yeah,
Exactly,
I think that's what he's doing. I
exactly.
think that's all I have to say.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, Phil. All right, Mr. Murphy, you're up, please.
I'm out of questions, Mr. Chair. It looks like it's exactly fits the criteria for 5.4.4 and 5.4.2, so I have no questions.
Thank you.
All right, excellent. Mr. Perry, please.
Just want to back up for a second on that, the addition in the back there, the mudroom.
Yes,
So that is the only increase, is that correct, on the footprint?
that's correct.
Nothing else is going to project or?
Projection.
And that's,
Yes, Mr. Walsh did look at the plans, and we did talk about, having it, what the footage would be, but he thought that it would be okay, but just applied for the variance to be safe.
yeah, no, that was my, Phil had mentioned it. That was also one of the only things I noticed in the presentation that wasn't mentioned, and I did know there was a proposed mudroom. So, but other than that, I don't have any no questions.
Thank you.
Good, thank you. Pat, any questions?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Very, very familiar with the property, very familiar with the neighborhood as they having grown up on Spruce Road right behind it. And as the members of the board know, we've granted numerous approvals for folks that have gone over the existing ranches on those homes up there, as long as they've stayed within the envelope of the home, meaning they've not increased the nonconformity, because the existing homes are pre-existing non-conforming to today's zoning. This is another case in that realm, and the Griffins are again very similar to other applicants where they've outgrown the home. The original home, having grown up in it, is 990 square feet, 3 bedrooms, 1 bath, a kitchen, a living room, and a garage. And my parents, God love them, had 5 kids. 2 adults, 3 dogs, with 1 bathroom. And whenever I see somebody adding on up there, I did it at Spruce Road years ago, and I always have a very sympathetic ear to it. But at the end of the day, as a member of the zoning board, as long as they don't increase the nonconformity, which they're not doing here, and I wholeheartedly support this application. So that's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
All right, sounds good. Appreciate that. I do see, I'm going to open it up to the audience. I do have a couple of people on that I can see. So why don't I go with them first, and then I'll make sure that we don't have anybody else. But I do see Kathy. Did you have any, Kathy? You need to unmute yourself, and then if you could identify yourself and state where your address is, please.
Yes, I got the paper. My name is Kathy Barnacle, and I live at 100 Lincoln Street in Norwood. And I was just, first of all, curious to see how you do these meetings now when you don't meet in person. But I'm in favor. I think anybody who is going to improve their property improves the neighborhood too. So I'm in favor. understand that. I know Sarah's family. I think it's a wonderful idea.
Thank you, Ms.
Okay, I
Barnacle.
appreciate your input. Thank you very much. Mr. Brent, Daniel Brent, if you could state your address, please.
Hi,
Yes,
Daniel
okay.
Brent, 12 Briarwood Lane, Director Butters of the Griffins, and we're in full support of the project. We've done that for a long time, and we've done the same thing ourselves about 10 years ago. So we hope that we're in full support of it.
All right, great. Appreciate your input. Murph, is there other, did you say there were two other people on there as well?
There's, and Ann Kelly, I don't know if she wants to say anything. She's still muted, so maybe not.
And you might want to unmute yourself, and then if you could just state your name and your address and whatever your input is will be accepted, please.
So still unmuted, still muted. So, and then there's Timothy J. McDonough. There's another person on.
Yes,
All
good
right,
evening,
Mr.
Mr. Chairman.
McDonough. Yes, sir.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Just here, 26 Dorset Street in Norwood. Just here for support for a family member who's applied for the application, and her husband's kind of tied up tonight working for the town. So I said if I could be of any help, if there were any questions that may have been asked, I'd be happy to help her out on that. But I'm not a direct abutter, but here just for moral support. Thank you very much for taking the time to. And I think I'm also calling too, because I'm on the computer and also calling in, so that might do it. But any
Okay,
questions? Thank
great.
you.
Thank you.
All right, let me, before I go on, as much as I appreciate all the input and the support, I'm going to ask if there's anybody that's in objection to this, if you could state your name and then your address, please. Okay, so hearing none, I'll hear the pleasure of the board, please.
Motion to close.
I just one more question, Mr. Chairman.
Yes, Mr. Riley, one more question if you could.
What is the height of the mudroom addition?
So I believe that it is 15 feet, but with the slope, it won't be
Okay.
hitting that at the, becoming too close with the plot line. That's what I actually talked with Mr. Walsh about that. He said, make sure that the slope isn't going to hit 15 feet at the plot line.
Because then you go to 10 feet. Right? He probably told you that. He probably
yeah.
told you that.
Yes. Yeah, I
And
talked
and
to,
you're slightly over 10 feet, so I'm sure he probably told you that.
yeah.
Okay, that's what I wanted to explore. Okay, thanks.
Okay, good enough. So still you're satisfied. Any other questions from the board members?
Motion to close, Mr. Chairman.
All right,
Second.
thank you. A second. And, so
Second.
motion closed by Mr. Mulvihill, seconded by Mr. Murphy. I'll do a roll call vote if I could, please. Mr. Riley?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Perry?
Yes.
And Mr. Mulvihill?
Yes.
All right, so that's a 5-0 motion to close. Approved. And the pleasure of the board in regards to the application.
Mr. Chairman, if I may, just one more time, if everybody that's watching this meeting or listening to the meeting can imagine 2 adults and 3 children in a 900 square foot. Again, it's been done before, but I'm just saying it to keep everything in perspective. It's a small ranch, and Mrs. Griffin said it best. They're busting at the seams there. We had 1 child on Spruce Road, and my wife at the time was saying that the house is too small. And I know people make good with less, but it's with 3 children at 900 some odd square feet, and they have the opportunity to add on here and to invest in the community that they've both grown up in. I wholeheartedly support it, and I make a motion to approve.
I
Okay.
would just like
I have
to
a
thank you
second.
for your empathy, and I appreciate it. And I don't know if this is out of order, but my 3 children are downstairs watching me right now on Norwood TV. So thank you for your support, and really appreciate it.
Second.
All right, well, don't thank us until it gets approved.
Okay, yeah, sorry. I won't.
All right, so it's been seconded by Mr. Murphy. All those in favor, I'll do another roll call vote. Mr. Riley? This is in regards to the special permit and the special permit only.
Yes.
Okay, so it's a yes. Mr. Perry?
Yes.
Mr. Murphy?
Yes.
Mr. Mulvihill?
Yes.
And I'm a yes as well. So it's a 5-0 vote to approve the special permit. I will defer to Phil. Do you think we need the variance, or would you rather she withdraw it?
I think it probably, makes, sense to withdraw it. I don't see that we need it at this point.
Yeah, I'd agree with that too. So Mrs. Griffin, if you want to make a request to withdraw your previous request of a variance, we'd have to vote on that technically as well. You're already approved for the special permit, so it's going to happen. But you need to technically withdraw from the variance for the record.
Okay, yes, I'd like to withdraw the variance request, please.
That would be without prejudice, Mr. Chair?
Yes. Yeah, so without prejudice, Mrs. Griffin's asked to withdraw on the variance request. So I will entertain a motion on that as well.
So
Thank
moved.
you.
So
Second.
moved. Okay, and seconded by Mr. Murphy. So we'll do a quick roll call vote on that. So Mr. Riley, your vote is,
Well, I have to vote, yes, because my, daughter lives in that area right next to Mr. Mulvihill's old house. And I'm told by her that you can't deny something that any Griffins want in the area. So, yes, whatever it is.
okay, here we go. All right. Mr. Perry,
Yes.
and Mr. Murphy.
That's a yes for Coach Griff, absolutely.
Thank you.
All right, and Mr. Mulvihill.
Yes, sir.
All right, I'm a yes as well. So the variance application is withdrawn. Okay, so good luck with it, Mrs. Griffin. We wish you guys well.
Thank you. I really, really appreciate it. And I know my kids, and future generations appreciate it. So thank you for meeting with us.
Look at that.
Absolutely. That's nice to
He
see.
probably
That's
could
why
have
we
done
do
a
this.
good job too, maybe. They both could have done a good job.
Thank you very much.
I appreciate your time, and thank you for members of the general public for your input. It is always appreciated and important. Okay, so a pleasure of the board to close the meeting.
Motion to close?
I ought to make that motion since I managed to delay the meeting.
Yeah. So Murph, I think you seconded it, but you were muted. But anyways, all right. So I have a motion to close, so I'll go with that. And Mr. Riley, you in favor of it?
Oh, yes, indeed, yep.
Murph
Yes.
Sorry to delay it.
Yes, sir.
and Mr. Mulvihill.
Yes, sir.
All right, great. So the meeting's officially closed. Great to see everybody as always. Hope everybody's hanging in there and doing well. And that's it. That's all we can ask. But we'll see you guys in a couple of weeks and enjoy the rest of the summer.